Hey, what's up you guys? For this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about my equipment. So before I get into this video, I'd like to say that it's never about the equipment. If you can upgrade, then it's good, but never upgrade because you want to make better videos, if that makes sense. You want to upgrade because you feel like your videos are worthy of the equipment. Don't think of it as you need that equipment to make good videos. So yeah, I'm just going to give a quick rundown of what equipment I use. So for camera, I'm just going to say it's the Canon 70D. I think it's a great camera. It's definitely not for beginners. I'm not saying I'm not a beginner, but if you are a beginner looking for a camera, I don't suggest the EOS 70D, but perhaps the 700D or the 760D. Those cameras are great for beginners and they're focused more on people who just want to take a photo or take a video. For example, the 70D, I work on manual mode, so I feel like the 70D is more appropriate for those who want to go a bit more in depth with manual mode. I suppose the 70D is a great beginner for advanced camera, if that makes sense. So if you're trying to go into filmmaking, but you don't want to get like the 5D Mark IV or 5D Mark III, you get the 70D. So yeah, let's carry on. I have two lenses at the moment. I have a Tamron 18 to 270mm lens, so this is great for photography and I absolutely love it because even though it has a great zoom sort of capacity, if that makes sense, so I can zoom in a lot. At the same time, the aperture is 3.5 to 6.3, which isn't too bad. I mean, I don't really need a really high aperture. I just need a basic lens because my brother broke my kit lens. But yeah, so I like this lens, but I not necessarily would like to recommend it. It's basically like another kit lens but slightly upgraded. So yeah, the second lens I have is the typical nifty 50 f1.8. Basically what aperture or f-stop mean is when you have a camera, the lower the number, so 3.5 for example is this lens, the 1.8 is a lower number and therefore it kind of gives more field of depth, if that makes sense. So in a photo comparison the two, one would be blurry in the background because the number is lower. So I have the 50mm. The only problem with that is that it's a prime lens, and as much as I love prime lenses because it's just so much easier to focus stuff when I do cinematography, it's a little hard because it's 50mm and it's just really zoomed in. The lens I would recommend though, if you want like a low aperture but still a good zoom range, is the Sigma 1.8 aperture lens. It's 18 to 35mm, which is the typical kit lens, but it's 1.8 aperture, which is amazing. But the only problem with that is that it's like $800 US, which is like 3,000 to 4,000 ringgit. So like it's really pricey. So, but if you can get it, then I think that's a great choice. Moving on, microphones. I usually use the videomicgo. But my mom's friend is borrowing it right now, so I'm just using the Blue Yeti microphone. I have a Blue Yeti microphone, which is what I use for voiceovers, and videomicgo is for when I talk to the camera, because the Blue Yeti is a cardioid microphone, which means that it's actually the kind gamers would have. So I would use those for voiceovers, and then videomicgo is just really easy. Put it on top of the camera and you slot it in, but it not necessarily has the best quality. Obviously the quality is a lot better than this camera. Right now I'm using the Blue Yeti, so I'm just gonna quickly change it back. So now this is the camera mic, and now changing back to the Blue Yeti, so you can obviously hear the huge difference. It's like right here, like if I just take a photo of where it is right now, it's right there in the corner and it works fine. Like even though it's not right directly under me, it's great. As for my computer, I use my MacBook Air. MacBook Air is great. It's quite light. It's not necessarily the smallest Mac you can get because you can get the really small ones. This is like the big MacBook Air. But it's great for school, traveling, and because nowadays I travel often, and when I do, film just complements traveling so well. So having this MacBook is just great. And I don't really have a tripod, like as shown in the photo that I just showed you. I don't really have a tripod. I had one, but then I kind of lost the screw you attach the camera to the tripod to. But yeah, and I don't feel the need to get one because right now I feel like it's not expensive, but I feel like it's just not necessary. Like I shouldn't just buy it, if that makes sense. And yeah, I guess that's about it. I don't really have, I have a lot, like in my perspective, I think I have all the equipment I would need for the next 4 or 5 years. But I suppose like compared to a lot of people, I don't have much, and that's really what I work with. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video of me explaining my equipment. And I hope you enjoy it. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.